I walked out, I have two phones, and I walked out without either one of them. But our friend Chris had called and said that his phone had died, and for us to call another number, he's up there with someone, and that someone's number is on the phone that I left at the house. So Vicki has gone to get it, and they should be back any second. But we're going to go ahead and start, and then as soon as we get there, we can get Chris on that other number. So, I apologize. Any other time, I've never forgotten my phone. You reckon it's my age, you?
My age.
Folks say no.
No,
Actually,
of course not.
Of course not.
I thought that was a permanent fixture in your hand.
It is, and I don't understand why I walked out without it. Rona, I just want to. But thank y'all for being here. It's a pleasure to see everybody and all friendly faces and good and smiling. And we like that. And we like for you to be here because this is your town, your community, and we serve you. So the first item is to swear in the board appointees. Mr. Attorney, can I take all three of the HBCs at the same time, or would that violate something?
I don't see any problem with that. No, you can swear them all in at one time.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask Charles Steyer, Suzanne Click, and Nathaniel Pridgeon to please meet me up front, please. First off, on behalf of the City Council and myself, thank y'all for serving all throughout the years. People have always served on boards, thankless, most senses. But there's something about serving on a board that gives you your own feel. And Charles, you were on this board for 16 years. I think prior to this, and I swore I'd never put you on another board because you've been there too long. But see, when you're as good as Charles, you have to make exceptions sometimes. So it's certainly a pleasure for y'all to be here. And let me just read this. You won't have to raise your hand until I get close to the end of it. I'll go ahead and read it. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of a member of the HBC of this city, and that I will support and defend the charter of the city of Tifton, as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia and of the United States of America. I shall attend all meetings of the body to which I have been appointed as providentially hindered. I shall abide by the standards for conflicts of interest adopted by the City Council and the rules of disclosure applicable hereto. Unless disqualified by the standards for conflicts of interest, I shall actively participate in all decisions of the body to which I have been appointed. I shall attend the city expenses. I shall attend at city expense any training mandated by the state of Georgia. I shall also attend, as scheduled, any special training arranged by the city of Tifton. Y'all raise your right hand and do y'all affirm? Very well. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Thank y'all. Okay, and if Lori will step up here, please.
I get to stand by myself?
You don't mind yourself?
Oh, it's okay.
Just stand. Thank you. Thank you. Now, you're staying on. You haven't been on the
No, I've never.
She's new.
Nobody told you about this, did you?
My mom.
No, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You don't have to stand up and jump up to me. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of the member of the keep Tifton beautiful of the city, and that I will support and defend the charter of the city of Tifton, as well as the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia and the United States of America. I shall attend all meetings of the body to which I have been appointed unless providentially hindered. I shall abide by the standards for conflicts of interest adopted by the City Council and the rules of disclosure applicable thereto. Unless disqualified by the standards for conflicts of interest, I shall actively participate in all decisions of the body to which I have been appointed. I shall attend at city expense any training mandated by the state of Georgia, and I shall also attend, as scheduled, any special training arranged for by the city of Tifton. Okay, if you raise your right hand. You serve on the team. Yes. Congratulations and welcome aboard. telephone?
That's your post, sir.
Okay. Don't lie, too phones. And can't keep up with either one of them. Oh, all right, now I gotta remember which one to call me. Okay, let me this one. Ms. Rona, I'll just give you the number.
Y'all have a good time. Get some good classes. How do you do your?
I got it, if you just, what's the number?
Okay, the number is 404 771 9360.
We got some good information.
404-771-9360.
And I went to one
That should,
Monday,
Greg may answer it if you want it,
the transportation. And they went back,
I did.
Oh,
Did you down
I
right?
said, I just had 3 hours.
8.
404.
8 and then
I was
1.
glad of that.
Dallas,
And then Tennessee.
one.
You go cruising down the river. You went to the park.
More specific.
Put in 6966.
There's one that went from Tennessee to each department has a code. Uh-huh.
My next stop.
Too much technology around this table.
Hey, Chris, this is Rob Wilmot. How you doing?
Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Good. We had to wait a little bit to get your telephone number. We're already in the process of the meeting. We swore in a couple of members, so now you're joining the meeting.
Great, hey, everybody.
Hey, Chris.
Hey,
Okay.
Chris, just to bring you up to date, we've sworn in the members for the HPC and the KTV, and we're ready to move on to item number 2, which is the resolution providing for amendment of the alcohol beverage license for A1 Food. Ms. Rona?
Yes, sir. If you all will recall, last month I requested approval of a couple of alcoholic beverage license pending the FBI fingerprint background check. A1 Food Marts did not come back with a favorable response, so I did not issue a business license or an alcohol license to Patrick Gillen. They have since reapplied under his wife's name. Her name is Marjorie Muzak. She does actually manage the store. All of her background checks came back perfectly fine. They've been residents of the Tifton community for about 6 years, so there have been no issues at all with them. And based on that information, she has also managed previously this same store, and her background came back clean at that time as well, so we recommend approval
Okay.
of that one. And I am asking that this be on the called meeting agenda because
Yes, ma'am.
it's been quite a long process to get them approved.
Okay, if you'll speak to number 3, resolution providing for amended alcohol beverage license for public.
Yes, sir. Public Supermarket has a new manager. Her name is Terry Brown, and this is an amended application to cover her and place her on the license as manager. And staff recommends approval.
Okay, Rona, thank you. And any questions from anybody? Seeing none, we'll move to item number 4. Carla, this is the ordinance providing for amendment to the retirement plan.
Yes, sir, Mayor. If you'll recall, we went through the, she had stepped on me.
Oh, okay, I thought you I saw it.
The last meeting, y'all adopted or unfroze the alternative number 3 in the retirement plan, and you did a resolution authorizing staff to redo the ordinance to amend the plan to reflect the changes that council had requested in the plan and the retirement board had requested. That's the ordinance you have before you, and it does amend the plan per the formulas that we had discussed with council. And that's what that's for, and it takes care of a couple little other housekeeping items in there as well. So that's your ordinance to amend the retirement plan.
Okay. That sounds good.
That is also on the called meeting agenda.
It is. Wes, you okay with this?
Yeah, I'll look at it.
Okay. All right, well, report on the new gun laws, Mr. Rob Wilmot.
All right, as you all know, we have a new gun law coming into effect July the 1st, just around the corner. And what I just want to address with council is just give you an understanding of how that new gun law applies to public buildings. Basically, a gun can be carried into a public building or governmental building, except if it's a courthouse, or if you have security personnel at the door checking, the building. So as it stands right now, since we use this particular room as a municipal courtroom, this building would be considered a courthouse. So as it stands right now, guns would be prohibited from this particular building. If you look at current City Hall where we are now, after July the 1st, somebody can carry a weapon into City Hall where we're currently housed. If you wanted to prohibit that, then that would mean that you would need to have a security personnel at the doorway securing the building, at which time you can prohibit guns from coming into the building. It doesn't have to be a certified police officer. However, if you're going to charge somebody with a crime of carrying a weapon into the building, one of your personnel would have to be a certified police officer. Now, so the status right now is no guns in this building because it's a courthouse, and guns would be allowed in City Hall unless we took some measures to have security at the door. Now, as we ultimately move back into the Mayan, I've talked with people at GMA, and you would not have to secure the Mayan all day. If you wanted to prohibit guns from coming into the city council meetings, you can go ahead and start your security at 5 o'clock moving forward, and then you can prohibit guns from 5 o'clock going forward. If you didn't want any guns at all in City Hall, then of course you're going to have to man that position throughout the day. So that's
But to
basically.
be sure I understand that, you don't have to have them during the day, and they can man it for just the meeting.
Correct.
But if we're going to prohibit the guns from coming into the mine, we've got to have the person there all day.
If you don't want guns in there, period, you would have to have them there all day.
Oh.
If your only concern is having guns during a city council meeting, then you can go ahead and start your security at that point in time, through the meeting.
Will the municipal court, when we go back to the mine, will it go back to, as well to the mine? Wouldn't that be being considered?
No, it's here.
It's gonna stay here?
It'll stay here.
It'd be easier to move. What?
So that's the status.
If somebody comes in without a permit, and we're checking, did I read it right that would be a misdemeanor, but they would be allowed to go back and take their gun and put it up? Or are they charged right then for having a weapon with no license?
If you have, you have to tell them that the weapon is not allowed and
Right.
give them the opportunity to remove the weapon.
But I had read something about if they didn't have a permit to tote it, and it was on their person, when they came to the room and they were sent back, it was a misdemeanor. But then I did not remember if it was misdemeanor, but only charged if they didn't go back and take it out. Is that right? If they don't have a
That's
permit?
right. But if you don't have a carry license,
That's what I mean,
and
permit.
that's right, then you could be charged with a misdemeanor for carrying a weapon without a license.
And not given the right to go back.
That's my recollection.
Okay.
I can drill down that, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it is.
Okay, I probably had that.
But generally, you're right. If you have a certified police officer manning your security post, and somebody brings a weapon who has a carry license, then you tell them that they have to remove the weapon. And if they still have the weapon, then you can charge them with a misdemeanor if they're a certified law enforcement officer.
Okay.
So I think the decision that probably needs to be made, everything's good right now because this is considered a courthouse, but your issue is always going to be when is City Hall.
When we go to the mine. But we have uniformed officers here, and we've done that since I came on board in 2008. And those will be our officers. So now they will stand at the door Do they frisk somebody down? Do they have some kind of something to be sure that what is got weapons?
I think, is Buddy still here? What, Buddy? Did you check the metal detectors?
Did you check the metal detector out?
Yeah, one right here.
Now, I'm talking about when we get back to mine, I'm not too worried here. Well, I am. But,
You have a wand thing.
Also,
Yeah,
it's
so
you
we-
will warn everybody that comes in the door over there. And y'all can tell them that we don't allow guns, and that's legal. Is that what we're gonna do? So we are gonna have weapons in our city council meetings, is that what I'm hearing?
Well, that's up to y'all. I mean, if you want to, right now, things would not change at all as far as city council meetings, because, right now, you're doubly protected. You got you're staffing it with security, and this is a courthouse. Once you go down to the Mayan, you're gonna have to staff that with security, and then that gives you the authority to prohibit guns into the building.
Okay, so when will we vote on whether to or not to have? That'll be an issue before July 1st, or
Well, this is
this is the time to do it? Let me just,
I don't know that,
You won't be going back into the Mayan until October, so.
I'd rather, but if this is gonna be July the 1st, I'd rather go ahead and do the issue now, because it comes into effect July 1.
Would you like for us to go into depth on this at the retreat, Mayor? We still have time.
But we can't vote in a retreat, so we still won't be able to vote until.
but the only issue right now really is where City Hall currently is located.
That is true.
And so, after July 1,
Okay.
it'll just be understood that people will be able to carry a gun into City Hall unless, you decide that we don't want people carrying guns into City Hall. The problem that and Larry and I have talked about this going forward, is that when you have people come to City Hall to pay their water bill, their whatever
Right.
business they have in City Hall, you'll be screening a lot of people.
Well, the other issue is that you also have to have a certified officer at every door, not just the front door. And that came out at GMA this past week.
Well, that's,
Some of the stuff I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, every entrance, yeah.
that is news to me.
You
That's
can't
not-
lock a fire exit.
Quite frankly, because you're gonna get into a financial issue as well.
Yes.
It'll be a full-time position to man somebody at City Hall.
So we need,
So the easiest thing I would say, y'all tell me why, that's all. I know that wasn't the municipal court at mine at one time.
yes,
It
it was at
was.
one time.
Years and years ago.
Till this
and
Why
then this
couldn't
got
it-
built.
Why couldn't-
Until 2004, that's when this building was finished.
Is it
This has
legal
been the
issue
official.
why it can't be moved there? That would handle everything.
Well, it's just that this place is designed with Beth and them up in the front, the foyer that you come into is just more designed as a courtroom atmosphere than the mine would be. That would be mine.
Well,
That's just me.
the only pressing issue right now is the old fire department where City Hall currently is.
Right.
We're not gonna be back into the mine probably until after the first of the year, actually, the time we get all the paint and all this stuff done, cleaned up and all that.
Okay.
The contractors will be finished, but we still have work to do after they leave. So, I don't know the answer to this one, Mayor.
Buddy, I don't want to put you on the spot, but we haven't voted, and I guess we're going to vote tonight. But what would be your advice? I know the NRA pushed our friends in Atlanta. I understand why they let this happen, but.
Municipal court needs to stay here, because this is.
Oh, I agree with that. I'm asking you about allowing people in with weapons.
I would personally man it during the council meetings.
You would what?
Man it, I would have it manned during the council meetings. I'd have the officer there during the council meetings.
And would you suggest we let people in with a gun?
No, not during the council meetings, no.
Okay.
What about during normal operating hours?
That's y'all's decision, no, I can't tell you on that.
So we have security in place out of the complex, we have electronic locks on the
That's
doors.
right. That's
So,
right.
well, there's an answer right
We
there.
do have some security at City Hall as well. We have panic buttons. Every desk
Yes,
has a
you do.
panic button and things of that nature, so we do have
And
some.
a less expensive way to do that rather than still have to do it, even if you have security measures in place.
Larry, I don't want
That's
to
why
open
we
a
need to
can of
think
worms,
that.
but I know that the county has been criticized for what all they did, so apparently they did a lot to protect.
They're putting in security over there. I was there yesterday and they were already installing it.
So they've installed security,
Well, I don't know what it's gonna be because it was in the construction phase. I don't know to what extent it's gonna be.
wow.
Let Rob and I work on this a little bit
Okay.
more, see if we can come up with some.
And please, I would appreciate it, and I hope my members would approve. Ask Buddy to be in on that too.
Absolutely.
I
We've been-
think y'all would make
We have been working with Buddy.
three good people on that team, because this thing just, I don't know if everybody else is bothered like I am, but I am bothered. The last elected official that got killed was a mayor out of Texas, and y'all need just voted for what the guy wanted. So I guess it's good to shoot the mayor first.
Well, Mayor, one thing you understand is that it should have no effect on city council meetings. It would be business as usual, either whether or not we're here or at the mine, because
Yes.
we're always going to have security. The only real issue is whether or not guns should be permitted in the city building, City Hall,
Right.
during regular business hours. And then the
Okay.
question is, if you don't want that, then the only answer is you're going to have manned security and figure out what that cost is going to be.
Well, we haven't voted on it yet.
I know.
We may have a majority rule that says allow it. I don't think so, but we could. And, but as it is, y'all will take the wand and do all that stuff. We can be sure that everybody's safe in the meetings. Okay, we beat this horse to death, so let's move on. But thank y'all for your guidance, and this council awaits further discussion on it. All right, thanks, Rob.
Okay.
The board report from Ms. Rona.
Yes, sir, I just got really a couple of housekeeping measures.
Yes, ma'am.
As you all will recall, I don't think Wes was here, but Councilmember Cassie was appointed by you all to be the council representative on the library board. And several months ago, she came to us and asked to continue to serve for a couple of months. She had a couple of issues she wanted to see through. Well, she's come back and is requesting to be reappointed if you wish, and she said she's fine if you all feel like you need to appoint someone else, but she would like to serve at least one more year to see these issues on through. It's taking longer than she had expected. But there again, I emphasize she is fine with it if you all decide that you need to appoint another person of council.
She was there for what, her entire 2 terms, was
Pretty much, yes, sir. She
I-
What
was.
was the issues that she was working on?
was
Well-
I
already
wasn't
there.
aware of them, sorry.
I'm not quite sure. I don't know enough about them to be able to respond. She just said she was intimately involved with one issue and wanted to see it through.
Well, she can certainly, if we go ahead and appoint someone, she can still come and see that issue through. That wouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't think.
If it's an executive item type issue, it may not be appropriate for a non-board member to be there.
It could be. Again, she will not be upset if you all feel like you need to, to appoint another member of council. It's a clause in their constitution that allows you all to have a member of each governing body actually sit on that. The city of Tifton is the only one that avails themselves of that.
And this was kind of, I think we've all discussed placing Johnny on there, desire to place Johnny, and that would take him out for the whole first year.
Do we appoint any other people to that board?
Yes, we do.
And there's no other terms that
No,
are available?
there are no other terms available.
And the county does not have an appointee at this time?
Not that I could see on the list. I did not see.
I wonder if the county would be willing to allow Mariana to be their appointee? She's a county
Yeah.
resident.
Well, I can certainly check into that.
Yeah.
That might be the way to solve that.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be fine with any way that you all wanna handle it.
Do we need to vote for that down here at the call meeting, or?
I don't have it listed as the called meeting, but that might give me an opportunity to get with the county.
Okay, let's do that.
If you do talk to her, find out what these projects are, because I have not. I'm just curious to know what these are. If they're intimately involved, you know, you just want.
Well, I mean, I think that's a little unorthodox, so I'd rather go ahead and appoint somebody. Go ahead and run
Either
into
way,
it and check.
she's gonna be fine either way.
Okay.
Well, hopefully the county would be willing to have her as their appointee, knowing that she's a, you know, she's a good board member, and she is a county resident and has that history, so maybe that could be the answer to solve, to have a win-win situation.
I'll check on that for
All
you.
right, we're gonna move on to the call meeting.
I've got
I'm
just
sorry.
one more real quick, Mayor.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Under the Keep Tiff Beautiful Board, we've had a vacancy in the expiration of, Hayward Fowler resigned. And we do have Terry Brown, who is the manager of Publix, has submitted her application and will be willing to serve on any board we wish. So I put her application in the packet for you all to think about. And there again, we won't take action until the July 7th meeting, so just something for you to think about. Okay, I'm through now. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor. We will now call the meeting to order. And the first item is number 7, the resolution providing for adoption of the FY 2015 City of Tifton budget.
Yes, sir. As we've discussed on 2 or 3 different occasions now, there's an adjustment to the first page of the budget presentation. It was 43 million and some change. The last time we've gone back and taken the $500,000 grant out for the 20th Street project that we did not get, and that's brought the budget down to 42.9 million. The budget is balanced. A couple of other items y'all asked us to change in the budget presentation. We wanted to define city net debt as city net debt, all reference to anything that had to do with telecommunications, geo bond, bandwidth activity, or whatever. In the presentation, they've been changed to reflect city net debt.
Where is that, Larry?
It's on page 783. No, I'm kidding.
It's on page 3.
These pages aren't on.
Page 3. If you go to the general fund budget highlights, where it says decrease of approximately $2 million primarily due to removal of city net debt,
Yeah,
it's on the 3rd page there.
gotcha.
And then there's another reference back under SPLOS 5.
Oh, this one.
And that's in the back of the packet, further back. It says something about, it did say tele geo debt,
Yeah, LEG,
geo bond debt. And that's the official name for it, better known as city net debt.
Judy, you weren't here on that, but we were all for asking, what's the geo?
I was here, yeah, I
Were you
remember
here
that,
that?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now I will say, I have to say this again, Mayor, Council. We have retired almost $4 million of that city net debt already.
Yeah.
And in SPLOS 5, we're on track to retire the remaining 2.1 million and some change
Amen.
by March of 2015. And hopefully before then, if my fine finance lady back here will find us some more money. Now, the SPLOS funds keep coming in.
We all.
The budget's balanced. Y'all seen it 3 times now. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Well, we can have a motion and a second, and in a discussion, we can ask any questions. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the 2015 city budget as presented.
Second.
I have a motion by Julie, a second by Johnny. Any further discussion? Chris, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm right here.
You
Wake
woke him up.
Wake up.
What's all that laughter about? Like I just told a funny joke or something.
Okay, no further discussion. We'll accept the vote. Everyone in favor, please raise your right hand and say aye. Aye. Chris, what is your pleasure? Chris said aye. That is unanimous, Ms. Ron. Item number 8 is a resolution providing for amended alcohol beverage license for A1 Foods, which we just went over. I'll accept the motion.
So moved.
I've got a motion,
Second.
a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand, saying aye.
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 That is unanimous, Ms. Ron.
Thank you.
Item number 9, resolution providing for amended alcohol beverage license for Publix. I would accept the motion.
I so move.
Second.
I've got a motion, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand and saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Chris?
He moved. Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
that's unanimous. Chris, this had been discussed briefly, I think, before you got on the phone. We were looking at well, no, never mind, you were here. Item number 10 is the ordinance providing for amendment to the City of Tifton retirement plan. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, please signify by raising your right hand and saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. Well, that went pretty well. We have an executive session to discuss real estate matters. And Larry, Rob, there won't be anything after that, so we can ask the press to.
It won't require any action afterwards.
There will be no request for action afterwards, Natasha, so you're free to go. But, so listen, we appreciate everybody being here tonight. We're gonna give you a couple of minutes to everybody get squared away, and then we'll go into executive session. Thank y'all.
There might be one small legal matter that we might also want to discuss in executive session.
Okay, so an executive session to discuss real estate and possibly legal.